On this week's episode, I've got Supergirl, Hunt for Wolverine Adamantium Agenda, Darth Vader, the Fantastic Four, Farmhand, and Domino. Strap yourselves in and grab your butts, 'cause here we go. Yes, thank you. Thank you. Except for that guy. Oh, that guy. Not you, thank you. But still, thank you. Welcome back to another episode this week. Got a few more comic books to review as I was able to get a little bit more reading done than normal this week. So, yay for that. Yes, thank you. All right. Let's go ahead and kick things off with some Supergirl. We haven't talked any Supergirl in a while, mostly because Supergirl has been pretty, bad lately. Supergirl's been pretty bad lately. And, with the events of what's going on in Superman with Brian Michael Bendis writing it, and his new nemesis, his new nemesis, Kara has decided that she's going to leave Earth to search for answers to this whole Rogol Zol dude. So she goes to see Hal first, thinking that he might be able to provide some intel after giving him Rogol's axe to scan. Well, he already tried this one before and got absolutely nothing. Well, this time she wants him to scan the axe in its entirety, and it actually turns out that there is information on the axe, but it's been redacted out of the Green Lantern files. That's right, it's been redacted out of the Green Lantern files. So something is going on, and all this does is pique Kara's curiosity even further. So she decides that she's going to prep a ship, and as she's getting ready to leave, Crypto shows up with a note from Cal telling her that basically, hey, I understand what you're doing, I wish you the best of luck, and please take Krypton for me, to keep you company. So now Kara and Crypto have left Earth for answers. So, it was nice kind of to see not the angsty teenage Kara that we've been getting for so long. Now I'm really interested to see where she's going to be going with this, and it's a huge giant space adventure, which I'm okay with. So moving on to Hunt for Wolverine Adamantium Agenda. That's right, these Hunt for Wolverine one-shots been doing a pretty good job of keeping the story going, and they provided just kind of a little bit of insight as to what's going on with the whole return of Wolverine thing. So Tony and his team have discovered that Sinister has basically the DNA of everyone on Earth in this giant database, and he's even got this mutant genetic information all up in this giant computer. Now, when Sinister shows up, the team decide that they need to destroy everything in the lab, even after Tony hesitates. Being a scientist, he could probably use some of this stuff for, scientific purposes, as it were. And they decide they're going to blow up the entire lab. And, things, it's a little bit sad, the potential that could have come from it. But back at Luke and Jessica's home, Tony reveals that he was able to find out two things in Sinister's database, both of them about Lara. And one, Lara isn't just Logan's clone, and two, that there is a mutant that isn't a real mutant and could be a sleeper agent inside the X-Men. Ooh. Yes, thank you. So, yeah, things are... So, it's nice to kind of see something kind of come out a little more of these short little story arcs Especially since, we might have a sleeper agent inside the X-Men. Ooh. So, next up is Darth Vader, issue number 19. Yes. I'm absolutely loving the Darth Vader series. Every single issue is just jam-packed full of action, adventure, and Darth Vader just killing things. Being Darth Vader. This issue is no different. So Vader and several of the Inquisitors have gone hunting for Jedi, and they find one on this planet, and they discover that his wife has just actually had a baby. So yeah. So when Vader presents himself, the Jedi attacks Vader, giving his wife and the baby an opportunity to flee. Vader stays to deal with the Jedi while the Inquisitors go after his wife to capture the baby. Now, of course, Vader versus Jedi, Jedi now dead, and the baby in hand, Vader returns to Coruscant to plan on how he's going to track down the rest of the Jedi, because they're all in hiding. They've all gone into exile after Order 66, and it's becoming apparent that it's really, really difficult to track them down. So, we're just gonna have to see. So it's been interesting to kind of see where this whole Vader story is going with the tracking down of the Jedi and things. And there's always been, stuff written in the old books, what is no longer continuity. But it's nice to see, like, this story actually being told, and I can't wait for more. So next up is the Fantastic Four, issue number 1. That's right. The Fantastic Four are returning to Marvel Comics. That's right. But are they returning? Do the Fantastic Four actually return? Do the Fantastic Four actually return? No. The Fantastic Four do not actually return in this issue. So, yeah. See? Y'all get all happy and excited and all like, yay and cheery, and y'all don't even know what I'm gonna say. So, this is essentially another Batman issue number 50. This is not the return of the Fantastic Four. We just went through this. It's okay. It's not the return of the Fantastic Four. Issue is actually really about Ben and Johnny and them, for whatever reason, coming to terms with the fact that they're not coming back, even though they had already come to terms that they weren't coming back, I guess, since Sue and Reed are gone out there in the multiverse somewhere. We don't really know where. I don't know where, but basically one day somebody shoots off a flare that is supposed to signal the return of Sue and Reed. And so Johnny goes over to investigate, all happy, and it turns out it's just a bunch of kids who stole the flare gun and decided they wanted to shoot it off because they thought it would be cool. I know, right? So Johnny, of course, gets all upset. Ben has a realization that he basically really just kind of needs to forget the past and live for the future. And so he proposes to his girlfriend. And she says yes, and they're going to get married, and yay, and happiness, and aww. And he asks Johnny to be his best man. Well, Johnny gets all upset because only Reed should be his best man, and blah, 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 and then he goes on this whole big tirade. And then, of course, he kind of turns himself around and realizes, Sue and Reed are gone. We just really need to live for what we have. And that's when an enormous 4 appears above the planet. Yes, because the Fantastic Four are returning. Sue and Reed, we've been guaranteed, thanks to a short little comic strip in the back by Scotty Young, that the Fantastic Four will be coming back together in issue 2. So, yeah. That's right. So despite, the attempt to kind of, put one over on us, they are coming back, unlike in Batman issue number 50, where we were told one thing and something did not deliver. So, yeah, I know. It's just, we're never going to forget it. We're never going to forget it. It happened. We're not going to move on, so just deal with it. We're just not. But we are going to move on to the next comic book, and that is Farmhand, issue number 2. Now, many questions surrounding this story, and they're only getting, bigger and just more and more questions. There is something going on with this Mayor Thorne and Ezekiel, the main character in the book. They've got some kind of bad history together. When Ezekiel is trying to help one of his dad's employees, after the employee's tires got slashed, these two thugs show up and throw Ezekiel and this dude into the trunk of their car. Well, thankfully, a friend of Ezekiel's dad is nearby and saves them, kicks the crap out of the thugs. And later, a woman calls the farm, concerned with some vertebrae that she got replaced. And they seem to be growing flowers out of her back. Yeah, so, ew, and a little bit of that. So, like I said, so many questions, and to be honest with you, I don't want any of them answered yet. I want this to be a very long series of questions. Kind of get dark and ominous on me a little bit, maybe. I don't know, who knows. So, next up is Domino, issue number 5. Yes. Alright, I've absolutely been loving Domino since issue number 1, and this issue is no different. Awesome stuff. So, while at a nightclub with Shang-Chi, Domino now has to fight a bunch of his old enemies. Womp. Yeah. So, Shang-Chi is trying to use this as kind of an opportunity to help her harness and control her power, which is why she came to him in the first place. So after a few fights, Shang finally understands how to help her, and she is ready to kick some ass. And she just, this is essentially what happens. That's right. Yeah, she just smacks him around. Stop it. No. It was a stupid... I'm never using that sound effect again. It's stupid. That's retarded. And just... Ugh. So, but meanwhile, Diamondback and Outlaw are taking on Prototype and Topaz in the facility they found. And when Prototype manages to get the drop on Diamondback, Outlaw becomes enraged and manages to smack Prototype a pretty good one as they try to escape, because he's all scared, terrified of her. Rightfully so. But it seems like she did a little more damage than we thought could have been. So, yeah, he's pretty messed up right now. That's it for this week's comic books. Another short little quickie. I'm hoping things will get back on track here pretty soon, and we'll be able to get, more hands-on with more of the books that I've been reading. I have kind of a thing that I might try out soon on the show, possibly, maybe. Why is that an ominous thing? Stupid. Anyway, we might give it a try. We'll see. I'm kind of mulling it around, kind of swirling it around in my mouth, see if I'm going to swallow. That's what she said. That's where the... Thank you. Jeez. Entire episode with not a single laugh track, because I didn't make a single joke. Anyway. Cut it. Like, jeez. So, sorry about that, y'all. Anyway, until next week.